time. Time is where we're going to switch to you guys. And I want to look at where you guys are seeing time. So for me, I have learned that a re-optimization of my time, I'm going to tell you guys what my week looks like, but not what my week looks like, but what the important parts are. Okay. I'm not going to say, oh, this is what I do from this hour to that hour, because my schedule is crazy. You guys would just be like, holy shit, like that's, and I think people realize that. I think people are fully aware of that. And I think more importantly is how I balance my time is what I'm going to talk about. So you guys will have your own struggle with time tokens. You'll have your own optimization that you have to go through. All that stuff you can learn in mental analysis about. So this is how I control time. Every single night before bed, I talk to my wife and I tell her, okay, this is what I got done. Well, she asks me, it's not like I make a point to make a list of what I could tell her because, oh, babe, today I got this done, I got that done. It kind of just becomes a talking point. Oh, so how was your work day? Oh, it was good. This is what I did, right? Like if it comes up, it comes up. That's not important. I don't make like this cumbersome list where I have to ramble off this, like this religious thing that I did these things today and this is what happened and this is going to make me better tomorrow because I accomplished this today. I don't believe in that. I think that's guru crap. For me, my balancing of time becomes when I'm sitting in bed at the end of the day and I tell my wife what I'm going to do tomorrow. I say, okay, this is what we have to do tomorrow. And she helps me with a lot of this stuff. So I'm really beneficial to have that bounce off with her. And as you guys get into trading, this is something you may want to venture into the avenues as well. So before I was a content creator, my wife was able to quit work many years ago. So she hasn't worked in about 10 years. So, when I was successful with poker and then, well, okay. So actually, yeah, 10 years. I was going to say not quite 10 years, but it actually has been about 10 years. Yeah. Yeah. Because you know what? Even before we were married, which was quite a while ago now, even that was close to 10 years, she was quitting work. So, back in the day, I would tell her, okay, this is how I'm going to trade. This is what I need. I need you to help me with breakfast because I got to be on my A game. I need you to make me, so you don't have to work anymore. That's great. So you make breakfast. I'm going to do the trading. You call the accountant, make sure that this, whatever question, because you always have a question for your accountant. You call the accountant, make sure you're doing this. We have a list of different things we need for the office. I want you to make sure that, we subdivide the list of wants and needs for this week. So what do we need this week? Okay, we need groceries. That's fine. That's not, we have to eat. That's not a consideration of taxes. Okay, I want to buy a purse. Okay, good. You buy a purse. How much does it cost? Cost as much. Okay, do we have it in the budget? Yes. Okay, good. I also need you to make me breakfast. So these accounting things that I don't want to waste my time doing, I need you to do these things. And I would give her lists to do every day. Okay, I need my computer set up this way. So I need you to find me and start researching which keyboards are going to be the best for wrist health because I was dealing with wrists. Okay, and then she would research that. Okay, what chair should I use? How should I use it? What about posture? So I would task her with these things, and it was like a great cooperation. So, people may not be there yet, but it's a great thing to look forward to when you can entrust a one income into a duality environment because there's a lot of stuff we still need to do outside of trading to keep mentally clean. Okay, we're going to have exercise is an important part of being a day trader because it helps keep you balanced mentally. Same with nutrition. And this is where you can enlist the help of your partner to say, we're going to exercise together at this time. And then you can get excited to exercise with your partner and spend time with them and exercise with them and have that one-on-one time. We're going to do this exercise half an hour after I'm done work. So let's make sure that we have lunch ready for this time. So helping create that ultimate balance, because what it looks like for me now is I say, okay, I got to stream tomorrow. What are we doing? I got audio engineering to do tomorrow. I want you to talk to this person because we have all sorts of dealings going on behind the scenes. She's helping create balance for my content creation. She's helping emails, right? So time balance and the way I control time is at the end of every day, I talk about what I'm going to do the next day. So it's kind of like already discussed and everybody knows their role throughout that day. And you guys will get to this with your significant others or spouses or girlfriends. One day when you start making enough money that you two people don't have to work, it actually makes more sense and value in terms of time, have them helping you than what they will make because you can make their income in like 30 minutes. You can make their weekly income in like 30 minutes, an hour. If you have a good, clean 1 hour of time or 30 minutes, the right 30 minutes in a week can pay their entire income. So you have to keep that finely tuned and oiled machine. Like you use your people around you as support to your team. It could be family. Maybe you live with your brother, sister. Maybe you live with your parents, right? Use them as support. So I control time by subdividing all these things, and it allows me to fire like where I need to fire fast and hard. So I can't, you guys will do your own time tokens, but the way I control time is I am constantly at the end of every day looking at what has to be done the next day, and at the end of every week what has to be done the next week, and what I want to accomplish for the month. I talk about on the first day of the month. Okay, it's the first of the month, or it's a Monday. What do we need to do this month? Okay, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to prioritize. This is where we need to go with it, right? So a balancing of time can be like this magical thing if you have somebody to help you, and you'll get there if you don't, right? Because that's one of the greatest things about day trading is your time becomes so valuable that it no longer makes sense to have the person you live with work, because them helping you is more valuable dollars per cents, right? So that's like a really, really great goal, and something that I see achieved often. And one of the first kind of like anchor points to a really healthy long-term life in day trading is that ability to control time. What I might suggest for you is that doing trading in the morning is a good exercising, because it sounds like your schedule one trend is working on your house and then getting into streaming and trading. I would break it up a bit, and I would trade for, even if it was an hour in the morning, just because it's an optimized state before you do your housework, and start building that bridge and that transition where you're getting used to trading in the morning. That's typical. That's what I would suggest. And then you can still watch my stream. It's just instead of 3 or 4 hours of trading, while you're watching my stream, you can watch my stream and do an hour to 1 hour extra, or just even while I'm streaming. But I would also take an hour in the morning to try to supplement some trading in there, just because your mind is going to be working a little differently in the morning than it is after a long day of construction. You may see better success. You may want to get into trades more in the morning and do your analysis at night, kind of thing. Really important thing here to highlight is a lot of people are going to be talking about sleep. Even 10 hours of optimized time, if you are to break up your day into 8 hours of sleep, I don't know how you'd break it up. 8 hours of sleep, 4 hours of whatever time, and 2 hours of travel. I don't know, 16 hours or 14 hours of time where you don't have control over. 10 optimized hours, a lot can happen in 10 optimized hours. Hell, I would assume that you could get more done in 5 optimized hours a day than you could in 16 unoptimized hours. Think back to a time. So I can very much relate here. Think back to a time when you were doing things for 5 hours in a row, and it was like, oh man, I framed the wall, I cleaned, I made myself dinner for me and the family, I got all my phone calls done, and in this 5 hour window, it was like magic was flying. And then you finish that 4 or 5 hours when you've got like all these things done. Or like, let's use a different example. Like, oh, I repaired the roof. I put rims. I put not rims on the car. That's something I do. That's not something everybody would do. Okay. I fixed the drywall while it was drying. I went and I fixed the sink because the sink was leaking. I made phone calls and waited on hold with my lawyers and accountants in between those times. I got my banking done. I've been putting off this banking. Once that was done, the sink epoxy was drying. I sanded the drywall. I cleaned it up. I vacuumed. I repainted the wall. The epoxy's now dry. I can assemble the tap. I'm talking to my bank and getting that stuff figured out. Holy shit, I just did 4 hours of crazy stuff. I got this massive list of things done, and it was only 4 hours. That's like highly optimized time, right? Imagine a time in your life when you got all these crazy things done in such a short amount of time. And that's what you should aim to optimize. Optimization time every day, instead of just kind of this dragged out, 10 hours, 13 hours, 14 hours. Everybody has a moment and that they can remember, like, holy shit, I got so much done in 5 hours. And it feels so good. Imagine having that for your trading routine every single day. That's what you aim to create. Except it doesn't have to be so visceral and so asphyxiated to this sensation and this texture of it happens so infrequently. You get used to that. Optimization becomes a routine of success over and over, and that visceral feeling and that texture of success, it becomes dull, which is okay. It doesn't have to feel that. It is exhilarating. It feels exhilarating, texturized right now when you talk about this moment in the past, because it doesn't happen very often, right? So I think that idea of optimized time is highly important. I think also me showing you guys how I redid my routines this week, and I took this opportunity to reshape some of the things in my life. I didn't talk about family either because I leave family out of trading. I did do things to optimize my family time as well, just so we're clear. I did say, okay, this is what I want to do more of with my son and my daughter and things like that. So I did have that family rebalancing. It's just that's all personal. So I don't really see how it's other than just saying, yes, I do a family rebalancing as well. I think me showing how I rebalanced some of the little nuances and the things I did, like, oh, well, buckwheat pillow, my weighted blanket, no coffee past 2, my wind down phase, a cool room for temperature. Because I think temperature and sleep is pretty important. Having a cold room is way more beneficial than a warm one from what I know. Although I haven't done enough research on that yet. There could be a different prognosis, but that from what I know, cold room. My nutrition, the subtle things I did to increase my nutrition, right? The subtle things I did. I think talking about these subtleties and the specific things I did can be a great example of how you can rebalance these things. Time tokens are focused on learning rather than trading. This is a smart one. I like this using of time tokens to focus on learning. Intake, the highest time of the mind to use to intake. Like that would be something I would say for anybody who's training right now to be a better trader. Use those time tokens of high optimization. Like I said earlier, that I think it was one trend. One trend should use this time. It might have been DSTH actually. One of those two was trading at the end of the day, and I said maybe try trading in the beginning of the day. Replace that trading with learning. Learn when you're the most optimized and your mind is the sharpest, so you intake more components so that it sharpens. It's like going to the battle with a sharper blade. If you intake it better, you're going to be way more knowledge and you're not going to have these gaps and holes in the knowledge, right? You're going to be way more equipped to take those good trades. So anybody using time to learn this field right now, and the idea of a time token has optimization, use the most optimized times to sit and intake, right? It can almost be meditative. Use that high optimization to intake as much as you can in terms of learning. That will be your best way. It'll give you the sharpest blade to enter the battle. Find a way to maintain energy after lunch. Matcha and sleep. Sleep helps with that. Matcha helps with that. How does everyone approach the second half of the day? My brain gets hit hard after lunch and noon. I never get into caffeine, so I'm looking to avoid that. I've never got into caffeine. Tips for staying asleep the whole night. I wake up or so after 5 hours. I can go back to sleep if I want, but I'd rather sleep straight for 7 or 8. A cold room will definitely help with this. The way I told my wife, it's closer to a state of death, so you're gonna just be a corpse. Because she's like, well, why cold? When your temperature in your room is lower, it's easier to sleep. Also because your heart rate lowers, and you get better rest when your heart rate is lowered as to when your body is warm. So sleeping with a fan is a great one. Some people get a sore throat. I am one of those people who gets a sore throat from a fan. So making sure it's more of a circulation in your room and less of a directional blowing. Like a ceiling fan is okay because it's directional. One of these fans that sit on the floor and blows direct air into your lungs, not good. So like a ceiling fan, good. One of these fans, like I have an oscillating, it's like a $10 fan. It's like one of those white ones that are just like a metal frame and it just oscillates around them. Terrible for sleep. It gives you sore throats, dries out your lungs. Use a ceiling fan or buy something like a Dyson, because that will be great. Buy like a Dyson, something that can circulate air. Like they have, it's about $1,000. They're expensive, but it's really good. Something that circulates air. I'm sure you can get something much cheaper, but you know, something that circulates air is good, and not something that has a directional blow on you. I think that's the way you do that. And matcha, you take matcha in the afternoon. Have a matcha tea. Have a matcha green tea, dude. You know how healthy that is? Oh my god, matcha green tea will give you all the energy you need for the second half of the day. Especially if you don't take caffeine, you're going to be supercharged. You're going to be like highly optimized, because that's another thing, is making sure that second half of your day is optimized. Micro naps, a matcha tea, middle of the day that has caffeine in it, but that's okay. Tea is fine. Or you can even do like a matcha smoothie for your lunch instead. So rebalance your nutrition. You could do your matcha smoothie for lunch or whatever. Matcha is a great energy sub. The health benefits of matcha are out of this world. And there's no real disadvantages to taking it. It's a natural substance derived from tea leaves. Keep the thing. So time management, it's good to have a good understanding, but optimization is the most important part of that. Like, I think phase one is having a good understanding of time management and practicing it. But then I think the evolution of time management is tokens. Like, I think when you look at mental analysis evolve, this is almost hop skipping a step. Time management in itself is a skill. Time optimization is the next layer of time management. You have time management and you create the perfect schedules. Time optimization, though, well, now this is something completely different. Now you're talking about you have a time management skill, and now you are dissecting which components inside management can be optimized, right? So I think this is like a good, friction point to realize that these shouldn't be one. This actually, you have to take time management and tear it apart. Manage your time, optimize the management of it, right? Not optimize the management. Use those time blocks in optimized ways. What's the most important parts to do, right? I gotta move this mic again. It's starting to drive me crazy. That's going on my list. Move my mic. I'm gonna drill a new hole in my desk. I'm gonna have Swiss cheese desk. I'm getting so OCD with this thing. Yeah. Okay, so your regimen. You're having trouble breaking out of your regimen. I have difficulty with that. That's okay. I have difficulty with that too. That uncomfort. I think the way I've overcome that in life is I definitely am more of the hermit type. Like, I would rather stay. This is why the reasons I chose my careers that I did. I would rather stay and not be bothered by people and not have to worry about the unknown variables of life and just to be comfortable, because I have control over comfort, right? Like, I think that was my hinge moment, was understanding that, hey, if I'm comfortable, I can control this, and there's no kind of variables to throw a wrench into the perfect dais of wind, right? Like, I was the same way. How did I overcome that? Evolution, wanting to evolve to be a better human being, broke me out of that box. Open up a TikTok account. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Start posting TikTok videos. You'll get real comfortable real quick. Try to follow trends. No, definitely don't do that. I think this is, it comes with success and wanting to evolve. And when you start to see success, you realize that you have to continuously evolve yourself as a human, your mind, your physique, your mental state, your physical state, all these things. And when you want to evolve yourself as a human being, your emotional intelligence and qualities, your intellectualism, you want to evolve these things, you have to break out of those comfort swings, because what you're doing is you're staying where you have to venture into new territories. You have to venture into new lands to make new maps, right? So if you want to have that new component in your life, you have to venture out and get it. The real estate program and Maurice. I would pick one. So I think that's where you're going to have a flaw instantly, immediately. That's where you're going to see your time is misoptimized. It's whether it's this or real estate. I won't advise you on which one makes more sense for you, but I will say that I think you need to chop one of these two things out, unless one of them is giving you an instant income right now and you want to transition into the other one. When we start to take on multiple careers, because it's we need to find success in life, commit to one thing. Don't split your time into real estate, this, that. You'll fail in all fronts, or you'll become very average at all three of them. Highly focused, highly optimized time is going to be where you find not so much of a diminishing of your value of the mind, right? And if you want to be average at multiple things, then you do multiple things at once. Imagine trying to be a professional basketball player while also trying to be a professional soccer player, while also trying to be a professional Olympic style rower. Different exercises, different muscle groups, different training routines. How could you possibly get good at any of them if you're splitting your time between doing back exercises for rowing, dribbling exercises for 2 hours a day instead of 6 or 7 hours a day, basketball, the feet exercises for 30 minutes, right? So this is just like pick one path and go down that path. I think that's very, very straightforward. Otherwise, expect to be very average at all three. Now, again, I'm not saying which way you should go. I'm just saying that this is what makes sense. Everybody, how do you achieve this now, today? What can you do now to make you a better human being? Like, if you were to switch a light, shock therapy, everything that you want to do on the list, take from my list, take from other people's list, do them all on day one. Go on Amazon, buy a bunch of products, get your work stuff sorted. If you need a new chair, go buy it. Just do everything in one day. Get all your supplements that you need. Change your exercise routine. Start taking cold showers. And don't take the slow approach. I'm just processing. Shock therapy yourself. Every single thing on the list. Take 3 hours. Order a bunch of stuff. And just get it all done at once. And it's like shock therapy. And then go and do exercise. Go for a cold shower. Don't have caffeine. Eat a healthy lunch. And then it becomes your normal routine, shock therapy. And you'll notice a very fast change. This is not shock therapy, by the way. This is just what I'm saying, like shock therapy approach. Like this is not like it's going to shock us into some type of abysmal mind state where we're completely fried. These are good changes. It's just a lot of changes at once. I believe in that, you know, abundance of falling off a cliff, right?